What is going on, everybody? I just got done watching Aquaman 2, The Lost Kingdom, the end of the DCEU, and it ends with a pretty mediocre meh movie that certainly didn't take itself too seriously. It was probably a little bit longer than it needed to be, even though it wasn't super long. It just felt a little long. Pretty simple story. At the end of the day, it's got some nice things at the end, some nice family message, a redemption story, but ultimately is kind of overweighed by a very heavy, oh, by the way, global warming bad message. Really, this entire movie is just, it resembles the DCEU as a whole. Something that, if done right, could have had a ton of potential, but ends up being kind of just a letdown, and you walk out disappointed. That's how the last decade has felt in some ways, especially the last 5 years or so. But for this specific movie, a couple things. They went like all out, being like, hey, let's just let Jason Momoa do Jason Momoa dude bro things. That's what the entire movie was. They did not shy away from it. They went hard on it, and I think a lot of the humor at times gets a little bit redundant and repetitive, and you kind of get a little bit tired of it. If you love that, you might really like this movie. Amber Heard, she's in it. Now, it's not some like huge role. It's definitely pared down from the first movie. But based on the marketing, you thought she would not have been in the movie at all. We talked about that. She definitely is there. It feels to me like she was cut out of different parts of this movie. Like in the beginning, they're showing Aquaman, they're showing the family life and taking care of the kid. He's doing like everything for the kid. He's changing diapers, he's putting him to sleep. He's doing everything. And Amber Heard, Mira, is like somehow just missing sometimes. Maybe she's taking care of some stuff at Atlantis while he's doing stuff there. They don't really explain that too much, but she's barely present in like the family life when he's up there, you know, on the surface world. It just felt a little strange to me. You got Tamara Morrison, his dad, who plays a role of kind of reminding him what family is all about, and you get a little scare for him at some point in this. Orm, played by Patrick Wilson, is the complete opposite, right? Complete opposite of Aquaman. He's like super serious, right? Serious all the time, and they're trying to do this buddy cop, this little brotherly thing that, again, I think it works in little moments. Overall, I just got a little tired of it. I do think that the villain in this, Black Manta, he's pretty one-dimensional. He's out for revenge, and what we end up seeing, a little bit of spoilers. I'm not going to go too deep into spoilers for this thing, but kind of what we see is he's trying to get his revenge on Aquaman, still, from what we saw in the first movie, for the death of his father. And to do that, he needs to repair his power suit, which means he needs to get his hand on Atlantean technology, which means searching for ancient Atlantean shit. He eventually does find it, and they find this big, massive ship, all this technology, and he finds this trident that belongs to the king of this lost kingdom, this kind of, kingdom that was trying to use this fuel that really destroyed and harmed the earth. It would cause global warming, so they got banished and he got imprisoned, while the spirit of kind of that king takes over Black Manta, gives him powers, and really takes him to the next level in terms of wanting that revenge. And they start using that same fuel that the Atlanteans had banned because it causes global warming. Global warming gets mentioned in this thing like fucking 30 times. They're constantly talking about global warming. That's the entire plot is about global warming, and how they really need to come together, the earth and the sea, to stop global warming. It's a bad thing if you hadn't heard. That's like constant in there. But ultimately, at the end of the day, after a bunch of big battle sequences, and you think you finally stop Black Manta, but then Orm gets a hold of that thing, and you think he's gonna turn. Ultimately, they team up and stop the threat, and Orm is kind of redeemed from what we saw before. Though a couple things that I will say that I think are really good about the movie are the different animals and creatures and technology and stuff. It's pretty cool. There's even a scene that feels like it's kind of derived from Star Wars, where they like go into a bar, and you've even got kind of like a Jabba-like character, but they go into a bar. There's just a bunch of really cool creatures, cool designs. I think if James Wan, had a role in that, like the first one, it was very, very well done. Unfortunately, the visual effects are shit. The CGI looks like it's 2005, 2006 at times. It looks really bad. There's a couple shots that are decent, but there's a lot of it where people look like little rubbery guys bouncing around. It doesn't look finished. There is a ton of VFX in the movie because of just the nature of it, but overall, I think you could probably say that it's not the worst DCEU movie by a long stretch. I think it's a step down from the first one. I think they really went all in on Jason Momoa dude bro aspect and hoping that people would really love that and dig that, let him be him. I think it was a little bit overdone, and overall, it's going to be a pretty forgettable movie. Now, some people might say the first one was forgettable, made $1 billion. I don't think that's happening with this one. Overall, DCEU ends with a very mediocre, meh movie. And, oh, by the way, I should say the way it ends is literally how Iron Man starts. He's holding a press conference announcing of the world, and he says, I am Aquaman, drops a mic. Pretty cringe. But that's it. That's all she wrote. What do you guys think about it? Let me know in the comments section below, and I'll talk to you later.